The Christmas lights reflected in her daughter's eyes as they waited at the restaurant table, but Olivia never imagined that the empty chair across from them would lead to the moment that would redefine her life. By the time the snow began to fall outside, nothing would ever be the same again. If you're enjoying this story, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming content that reminds us all of the unexpected magic that can happen during the holidays. Olivia Morgan adjusted the small red bow in her 6-year-old daughter Emma's hair as they sat in the cozy corner booth of Bellini's, the Italian restaurant downtown that had transformed itself into a winter wonderland for the holiday season. Garlands of pine and twinkling white lights draped across the ceiling, and each table featured a small centerpiece with a red candle and sprigs of holly. "Is he coming soon, Mommy?" Emma asked, fidgeting with the paper placemat in front of her. Her small fingers traced the outline of the Christmas tree printed on it, her eyes occasionally darting toward the entrance. "I hope so, sweetheart," Olivia replied, checking her watch for the third time in 5 minutes. "Remember what we talked about? This is just a practice date. A way for us to have a special mother-daughter night out during Christmas time." The truth was more complicated. After 3 years of being a single mother, Olivia had finally agreed to a blind date set up by her well-meaning but persistent best friend, Jenna. But at the last minute, her courage had faltered. Instead of canceling, she'd decided to come anyway, bringing Emma along as both shield and comfort. She'd text the man, David, his name was, and explain that something had come up with her daughter, and she couldn't make their date after all. She'd apologize for the inconvenience and suggest rescheduling for after the holidays. But she hadn't sent the text yet. Part of her, a part she was trying desperately to ignore, still held on to a sliver of hope that maybe, just maybe, this Christmas season might bring something unexpected into her life. "Can I have the spaghetti with the big meatballs?" Emma asked, her attention now fully on the children's menu the hostess had given her. "Of course you can," Olivia smiled, grateful for the distraction. "And maybe we can split a tiramisu for dessert." As Emma happily colored the snowman on her menu, Olivia discreetly pulled out her phone. It was time to send that text. She'd waited long enough, 15 minutes past their scheduled meeting time. Clearly, David wasn't coming either. Perhaps he'd had the same reservations she did. Her fingers hovered over the screen when the bell above the restaurant door jingled. Despite herself, Olivia looked up. A tall man with dark hair dusted with snowflakes stepped inside, unwinding a blue scarf from around his neck. He stamped his boots on the mat, shaking off the snow that had begun to fall outside. Even from across the restaurant, Olivia could see that his cheeks were flushed from the cold, his breath still visible in little puffs as he spoke to the hostess. Her heart sank. He matched the description Jenna had given her of David. And now he was here, and she was sitting with her daughter, having completely failed to send the cancellation text. The hostess pointed in their direction, and the man's eyes found hers. He smiled tentatively and began making his way toward their table. "Emma," Olivia whispered urgently, "there's been a change of plans. That man coming over is someone Mommy was supposed to meet for dinner. I forgot to tell him I couldn't come alone." Emma looked up from her coloring, her eyes wide with curiosity. "Is he your prince, like in the movies?" "No, sweetie, he's just..." "Hi, are you Olivia?" The man had reached their table, his voice deep but gentle. Up close, Olivia could see that his eyes were a warm brown, crinkled slightly at the corners as if he smiled often. "Yes, I'm Olivia," she said, standing awkwardly. "And this is my daughter, Emma. I'm so sorry, I meant to text you. There was a childcare issue, and I..." "David," he said, extending his hand. "David Chen. It's nice to meet you both." As Olivia shook his hand, she noticed something she hadn't seen from across the restaurant. Behind David, partially hidden by his tall frame, stood a small boy around Emma's age, with the same dark hair and eyes as his father. "And this," David said, placing a gentle hand on the boy's shoulder, "is my son, Liam." Olivia blinked in surprise. Your son? David nodded, a flicker of uncertainty crossing his face. I hope it's okay. My babysitter cancelled at the last minute, and I didn't want to stand you up. I was going to text, but then I thought. He trailed off, looking embarrassed. I probably should have just rescheduled. A laugh bubbled up from Olivia's chest, surprising even herself. No, it's perfect, actually. I was in exactly the same situation. The tension in David's shoulders visibly relaxed, and he smiled, a genuine, warm smile that reached his eyes. Well, then. Would you ladies mind if we joined you? Emma, who had been watching this exchange with rapt attention, piped up. I'm getting spaghetti with big meatballs. Liam, who had been half hiding behind his father, peeked out with sudden interest. That's my favorite too, he said quietly. And just like that, their awkward blind date transformed into something entirely different, something neither Olivia nor David could have anticipated, but which, as the evening progressed, began to feel strangely like fate. The children, initially shy, quickly bonded over their mutual love of spaghetti and their excitement about Christmas being just 2 weeks away. Emma showed Liam her colored snowman, and he complimented her choice of a purple hat. Purple is the best color, he declared solemnly, and Emma nodded in agreement as if this was an established fact. Meanwhile, Olivia and David found themselves sharing not the typical first-date small talk they might have exchanged had they been alone, but rather the real, unfiltered stories of their lives as single parents. Liam's mother left when he was 2, David confided as they watched the children compare Christmas wish lists. She decided parenthood wasn't for her after all. I'm sorry, Olivia said, and meant it. Emma's father was never really in the picture. He was gone before I even knew I was pregnant. David nodded, understanding in his eyes. It's not easy, is it? Doing it all alone. No, Olivia agreed. But we manage. Emma is the best thing that ever happened to me, even if the circumstances weren't ideal. I feel the same way about Liam, David said, his gaze drifting to his son, who was now teaching Emma some sort of hand-clapping game. Though I have to admit, there are days when I feel like I'm failing him. Like when I have to work late and miss his bedtime, or when he asks questions about his mom that I don't know how to answer. Olivia felt a lump form in her throat. How many times had she lain awake at night with those exact same worries? I know exactly what you mean, she said softly. Last month, Emma had a mother-daughter tea party at her school. I had to reschedule 3 client meetings to make it, and I still showed up late because of traffic. The look on her face when she thought I wasn't coming. She shook her head, the memory still painful. But you made it, David pointed out. That's what matters. I suppose so, Olivia said. Still, sometimes I wonder if it's enough. If I'm enough. Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of their food, spaghetti and meatballs for the children, fettuccine alfredo for Olivia, and lasagna for David. As they ate, the conversation flowed more easily than Olivia could have imagined. They discovered they both worked in creative fields, Olivia as a graphic designer, David as an architect. They both loved old movies and hiking, though neither had done much of either since becoming parents. We should go sometime, David suggested, then immediately looked embarrassed. I mean, all of us. The kids might enjoy it too. Olivia felt a warmth spread through her chest that had nothing to do with the glass of red wine she'd been nursing. I'd like that, she said. Emma's been asking to go to the Christmas tree farm up in the mountains. They have sleigh rides and hot chocolate. Liam would love that, David said, his eyes lighting up. He's been obsessed with sleighs ever since we read The Polar Express last Christmas. As the evening progressed, Olivia found herself relaxing in a way she hadn't in years. There was something about David, his quiet confidence, his obvious devotion to his son, the way he listened intently when she spoke as if her words really mattered to him, that made her feel seen in a way she hadn't since before Emma was born. By the time they'd finished their shared tiramisu, which both children declared gross after one bite, opting instead for vanilla ice cream with Christmas sprinkles, Olivia realized with a start that nearly 3 hours had passed. Emma was beginning to yawn, her head occasionally drooping against Olivia's arm. "We should probably get going," Olivia said reluctantly. "It's past Emma's bedtime." David nodded, looking equally disappointed. "Liam too. He gets cranky if he doesn't get enough sleep." As they gathered their coats and prepared to brave the snow that had continued to fall throughout their dinner, an awkward silence fell between them. This wasn't a normal date, after all. The usual end-of-evening rituals, the promise to call, the potential goodnight kiss, didn't seem to apply when you had your children in tow. "Well," Olivia said as they stood outside the restaurant, the children bundled up against the cold, "this was unexpected?" David supplied with a small smile. "Yes," Olivia laughed. "But in the best possible way." David's smile widened. "I agree. And I'd really like to see you again. Both of you," he added, glancing down at Emma, who was attempting to catch snowflakes on her tongue. "We'd like that too," Olivia said, surprised by how much she meant it. "Maybe that Christmas tree farm this weekend? If you're free?" "We're free," David said quickly, then chuckled at his own eagerness. "I mean, I'd have to check Liam's schedule, but I'm pretty sure his only commitment is watching Saturday morning cartoons." They exchanged phone numbers, promising to text to finalize plans. As they prepared to go their separate ways, Olivia and Emma to their car in the nearby parking garage, David and Liam to their apartment just a few blocks away, Emma tugged on Olivia's hand. "Mommy," she whispered, though loud enough for everyone to hear, "I think Mr. David might be your prince after all." Olivia felt her cheeks flush with embarrassment, but when she glanced at David, he was looking at her with such warmth that her embarrassment quickly faded, replaced by a flutter of something that felt suspiciously like hope. "Good night, Olivia," David said softly. "Good night, Emma." "Good night," Olivia replied, her voice barely above a whisper. As she drove home through the gently falling snow, Emma already half asleep in the back seat, Olivia couldn't help but think that perhaps, just perhaps, this Christmas might be different from all the others she'd faced as a single mother. Perhaps this year, the season of miracles might actually have one in store for her. Little did she know just how right she was. The Christmas tree farm was nestled in the foothills of the mountains, a 40-minute drive from the city. As Olivia navigated the winding road, Emma chattered excitedly in the back seat, her breath fogging up the window as she pressed her face against it, searching for the first glimpse of snow. "Do you think they'll be there already, Mommy?" she asked for the third time since they'd left home. "I don't know, sweetheart," Olivia replied patiently. "We said we'd meet at 11, and it's only 10:30 now." In truth, Olivia was just as eager as Emma, though she was trying hard not to show it. She and David had texted several times since their dinner 3 nights ago, finalizing plans for today's outing and sharing small details about their days. His texts were thoughtful and often funny, making her smile at unexpected moments. Last night, he'd sent a picture of Liam fast asleep surrounded by Christmas books, with the caption, "Someone's excited about tomorrow." She'd responded with a photo of Emma's carefully laid-out outfit for the tree farm visit, red sweater, green leggings, and boots with little jingle bells on them. "Someone else is too," she'd written. His response had come quickly, "Makes 3 of us." Now, as they crested a hill and the Christmas tree farm came into view, a vast expanse of evergreens dusted with snow, colorful flags marking the entrance, and a large red barn where the sleigh rides departed from, Olivia felt a flutter of nerves. What if the easy connection they'd felt at dinner didn't translate to the light of day? What if the children didn't get along as well in this new setting? What if... "I see them," Emma squealed, pointing excitedly. "There's Liam and his daddy." Sure enough, as Olivia pulled into the parking area, she spotted David and Liam standing near the entrance. David was holding 2 paper cups, and even from a distance, Olivia could see the steam rising from them. He waved when he spotted their car, and Liam jumped up and down beside him. "They brought hot chocolate," Emma said with approval as Olivia parked the car. "I told you they were nice." Olivia smiled, her nerves settling somewhat. "Yes, you did." Emma was unbuckling her seatbelt before Olivia had even turned off the engine, eager to join her new friends. Olivia took a moment to check her reflection in the rearview mirror, a habit she'd all but abandoned in recent years but which had suddenly reasserted itself. She'd taken extra care with her appearance today, wearing a forest green sweater that brought out the gold flecks in her hazel eyes, and even applying a touch of mascara and lip gloss. "Come on, Mommy," Emma urged, already opening her door. Coming," Olivia laughed, grabbing her purse and following her daughter into the crisp winter air. David's smile as they approached sent a warmth through Olivia that had nothing to do with the hot chocolate he offered her. "We thought you might need something to warm you up," he said. "It's colder up here than in the city." "Thank you," Olivia said, accepting the cup gratefully. Their fingers brushed in the exchange, and she felt a small jolt that had nothing to do with static electricity. "I got you hot chocolate too," Liam told Emma seriously, holding out a smaller cup. "With extra marshmallows." Emma's eyes widened with delight. "That's exactly how I like it." The children exchanged smiles that suggested the beginning of a beautiful friendship, and Olivia felt something in her chest loosen. Maybe this day would go well after all. And it did. They spent the morning wandering through rows of Christmas trees, the children running ahead and calling back whenever they found one they deemed perfect. David and Olivia followed at a more leisurely pace, sipping their hot chocolate and sharing stories about their week. "Liam's been talking about Emma non-stop," David confided. "He even cleaned his room without being asked because he said he wanted to invite her over to play sometime." Olivia laughed. "Emma's been the same way. She told her teacher that she made a new friend who also likes purple and spaghetti, and that's how she knew they were meant to be friends." "The wisdom of children," David said with a smile. "They know what matters." They watched as Emma and Liam attempted to make snow angels in a small clearing, their laughter carrying on the cold air. "I'm glad we did this," Olivia said softly. "I was a little nervous, to be honest." David glanced at her, his expression open. "Me too. I haven't dated much since Liam's mother left. It's hard to find someone who understands what it's like, being a single parent." "I know exactly what you mean," Olivia said. "Most men I've met either aren't interested in dating a woman with a child, or they say they are but then get frustrated when I can't be spontaneous or when Emma needs my attention." David nodded. "I've had similar experiences. It's like they expect you to compartmentalize your life, parent mode, dating mode, but it doesn't work that way.